What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is going to be Empire Season 5, Episode 2. So listen up. Honey, we start the episode while we still at this damn funeral that we don't know who it is. Let me tell y'all who I think it is. I think it's Andre. I think it's Andre in that casket for a couple of reasons. One, he's a disposable family member. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're clearly building this up that it's a family member, that it's a lion that's in that casket, and he's a lion that can really be gone. Two, his wife ain't on the show no more, so maybe he don't want to be on the show no more either. And three, after what I saw, some things that went down this episode, I'm like, So anyway, let's just go ahead and drop on in. So we start off with the funeral, and then of course we go 6 weeks earlier or 6 months earlier. We see that Cookie and Lucius are down up in the hood, at their little studio down in the hood, making hits with Treasure. And she's all excited, and, they like, yeah, we got you a first hit. We got to get you back in the studio to make your second hit so you have a good follow-up, Cookie's like, yeah, so she's like, well, who's my A&R person? And they were like, yeah, so see, the luxury of being on a small label where you the only artist is that you don't need no A&R person. You got us. Like, you got one-on-one attention because we don't have no other artists to deal with. And she was like, okay. Oh, okay, cool. On the other side of town, we see Nicole Ari Parker, because I don't remember her name on the show. She thinks she getting ready to be named permanent CEO. Her and Becky doing their black girl magic. She done ordered a couch for her new office and all of that. We get up in there where they getting ready to make the announcement, and old boy is like, thank you so much for taking over. You've done some really great things in the time you've been interim, and I really appreciate that. And with that being said, he turns around and tells his little right-hand man that he's going to be running Empire now. Kingsley is his name. Now, Kingsley ain't nothing but he... I'm sorry, y'all. Got a text that don't make sense. Anyway, but he... It just made me lose my train of thought. Anyway, he names his boy Kingsley the head of Empire. Kingsley is a Silicon Valley guy. He don't know shit about music, and of course, old girl is pissed. She's like, I can't believe this. They used me. They had me thinking that I was gonna be up next, and they stabbed me in my back. She was like, but that's okay. I'm gonna make their asses pay. Now, I'm not really understanding how she decided she was gonna make them pay, or maybe she just hasn't made her move yet, because the move she made, it did make sense, but we're gonna get to that. We'll get there. So now we see Hakeem is tripping. Hakeem is doing what Hakeem does when things don't go his way, and he get in his feelings. He drunk, he fucked up, he hanging with his crew, but they at Jamal's house. Hakeem, why you don't go get a hotel room to do this bullshit? You all up in Jamal's house, and Jamal's boyfriend is sitting there like, so is this our new normal? Like, is this how we about to be living? Because I ain't signed up for this bullshit. And Jamal was like, no, this is gone on too far. So he pulled Hakeem, he put everybody out the house, he pulled Hakeem in the back, make him take a shower. He was like, look, we got somewhere to go. They end up going down to the jail to visit Andre. And we realized that, because of course I didn't think about this. And I know I said last week that I wasn't sure that Nika, what's the girl name? Boo Boo Kitty was dead. Okay, she dead. Because they came right out and said today that she did. So she did. Okay, I guess she did. She did. But they go down to the jail, and of course, Hakeem is like, I don't know why the fuck you brought me down here. Because he don't have no words for Andre, which I never really thought about it, because he's like, you killed the mother of my child. Like, my daughter's gonna grow up without a mother, and it's your fault. And now I have to explain that to her, that your uncle killed your mother. Like, you put me in a fucked up situation, and you did it for what? Like, for what reason? And he was like, I'm sorry for your pain. I'm sorry for Bella, but she deserved it. So Hakeem was like, what the, for real, nigga? Like, she deserved it? So he mad at Andre because Andre killed Boo Boo Kitty. And he mad at Jamal because he was like, and when I was in the hospital recovering from my gunshot wound, your ass was nowhere to be found. You was all tripping over in London, having the time of your life. So he mad at everybody. So on top of the fact that he can't, well, in his mind, he can't rap anymore. He feel like his family really wasn't there for him when they really need, or his brothers, I should say, weren't really there for him when he needed them most. And I see where he's coming from 100%. He had to, look, they done made memes out of him on the internet of him not being able to breathe and him fucking up at the show last week. So you know how Hakeem is. He already sensitive anyway. But on this one, he got some valid points. So he ended up basically cussing both of their asses out and rolling out the jail like, I don't even know why the fuck I'm here. I'll be in the parking lot. Like, I'm done. So that didn't really help. Jamal, I guess, called himself giving him a little intervention, and it didn't really work out. So then we see Lucius is doing an interview with Sway in the morning, trying to get Treasure's song on the radio. Supposedly he had made a deal that they were going to play the song on the radio. But Sway was like, before we get to the music, tell us what really went down with Empire. Word on the street is you just let Eddie Barker come in and just steal your company from up under you. Like, what's really good with that? And he was like, what you talking about? He said, that's not what I'm here for. He was like, I was ready to retire. Spending that shit the way they probably been spending it for the last 2 years. He was ready to retire, blah, blah, blah. Sway was like, that ain't what I heard. Word on the street is blah, blah, blah. Lucius going to lean over and say to him, do you like your heart in your chest? Like, I'm really about to fuck you up. And then he goes to the station manager and he was like, what's that about? He was like, I thought we had a deal. Like, what's up with you blindsiding me with this gossip ass bullshit? Like, I'm here about music. I'm here to play my artist, and she's gonna be a hit, and you're gonna be wishing that you were the first one to play it. And he rolled out. So he talking to Cookie like, yo, this, what the fuck? Like, my name really don't mean what I thought it was going to mean. Like, I thought I'd be able to just drop music just on the strength of being who I am. And in the meantime, Cookie can't find Treasure. Treasure ain't show up for her studio session. Treasure ain't nowhere to be found. Cookie go down in the hood to find Treasure and tells her, like, what's up? What's really good? And she was like, look, this job pays my bills. You ain't guaranteeing me nothing. In the meantime and in between time, I got bills to pay. And Cookie was like, I tell you what. And then she was like, and my father told me that I can't really rely on this singing shit, and I got to take care of me. So Cookie said, look, let me tell you something. She said, my father didn't believe in my dream either. She said, but I believe in you. You have a talent, and I know you can do well. She said, but when you're ready to believe in yourself, you call me, Because, of course, they spending money on studio time that they don't even have right now. Like, the dude at the studio was like, I put it on your tab. I know you good for it. But y'all know at a certain point, that shit's going to get old, too. So, you wasting everybody's time and what little bit of money we do have we trying to get back on, but we're going to bring you with us for the ride, and we need you to trust us. Well, little Miss Treasure, she got her swag back, but she didn't get it back with the right person. She got her swag back with Nicole Ari Parker, who done signed her to Empire up under Cookie and them up under their noses. And of course they threatened to sue and everything, and she throwing them. She was like, well, that mean litigation, attorney's fees and all of that. And we know y'all ain't really got that kind of money right now, so it's really just a mute deal. So, of course, now they really on their back. Like, they really back at square one because they probably took a little bit of money they had left to pour it into Treasure. And Treasure done left their asses hanging and went over to Empire. Now, Nicole Ari Parker thinking that if she snags this new artist, that she'll get in good with old boy that's over the head of Empire. And that'll convince him to give her the head of Empire. I don't know why the fuck that made her think that was going to make him change his mind, because the dude he put in charge of Empire is like his best friend. Like, they've been together since college. Like, not been together, but they've been friends since college. He put him there for a reason. Like, if he wanted you to be there, he already put you in that position temporarily. If that's who he wanted there, that's who he'd put there. I don't understand why you thought going and getting an Empire artist was going to make you... I didn't understand what your thought process was with that one. But we see, what did we see next? I want to make sure I don't miss nothing. Oh, all right. So Andre in jail. Andre's in jail, and it's a young boy there. It reminds me a little bit of the Khalif Broward situation a little bit. Supposedly, he's a young guy. He's there. He didn't do it. He's innocent. And, basically, the old heads are fucking with him, making him crawl around, making him they bitch, basically. And Andre is not feeling it. Andre is trying to get involved. His boys tell him, look, you about to be out of here. There's no need for you to get involved in this. Like, don't risk your freedom on some dude that you don't even know. But of course, Andre is like, I don't really appreciate them picking on old boy like that. I got to do something about it. So later on, and I'm just go ahead and get this out the way. So later on in the episode, we see that Andre straps up. He got the phone books all around his waist so he can, protect himself in the fight. And he goes and he picks a fight with the dude. And he ends up getting into a fight. Dude, of course he whips dude's ass. But it wasn't even a dude that was giving the boy a hard time. It was his bodyguard. It was like one of his boys. But whatever the plan is, Andre seems to think that the plan went the way he wanted it to go, because he's smiling and shit as the guards are taking him up out of the common room. So I'm like, and when he told his boy what the plan was, of course he whispered in his boy's ear. His boy was like, "Are you sure? Like, basically, like, you about to fuck up. Like, are you really sure you want to do this?" And he was like, "Yeah. Are you going to help me or not?" So I don't know what Andre's plan was. I don't know what this whole situation was supposed to be, but whatever. So, sorry. So then we see, so that's kind of where Andre's situation left off this week. And that's why I said I can see that Andre being the one in the casket, because I can see some retaliation at the jail where he ended up getting killed. And then, of course, I can see that. I can just see, and I can see us not really missing Andre's character, because for me, for real, like I said, he's an expendable lion. Like, he's not really needed. Anyway, so then we see Lucius is still trying to get this. This happened before Treasure left them. Lucius is still trying to get Treasure's song on the radio. He goes down to Lincoln University. He talking to the Hotep crew and everything. And at first they try to tell him, "No, we can't play your song. It won't fit in our rotation." He says, "I tell you what." He said, "I'll give you an exclusive interview. I'll talk to you about the song. What's the name of the song? This child of mine," something like that. And he was like, I'll talk to you about that song. I'll give you the insight, the exclusive, what the song was about, if you play my music. You play the song." And so they were like, "You've never spoken about that song before. Like, you've never told anybody what that song was about and who that song was about." He was like, "And I'm never going to do it again." He was like, "So do you want the exclusive or not?" He was like, "Do we have a deal?" So he tells them the story of the song. And basically the song is about Cookie having a miscarriage. Cookie was pregnant with a daughter before Andre. And she actually had a miscarriage. And so the song was about that night, when, about the miscarriage happening and about everything that he kind of went through and they went through as a family, and how, what if things had worked out differently? I'd have a little daughter now. So that's what the song was about. And so he's like, they were like, we hold to our word. We said we play your song. We're going to play your song. So they put the song on the radio. It blew up. Everybody loves it. And of course now Sway calling Lucius. Everybody trying to get Treasure because her song is blowing up. And that's when Nicole Ari Parker swooped in and took her over to Empire. I still don't see the connect. Like, I understand why she would want her, because she's a new artist blowing up. But I still don't understand why that made her think that was going to get her job. Like, I don't. Like, if you were doing it on some revenge type shit because it was Cookie and Lucius, that's one thing. But to think that was going to give you an end, I ain't understand that. So we see Kingsley with Becky. Let me tell y'all something about Miss Becky. Becky learned her lesson, playing them sidelines and being stuck on the sidelines for so long. She like, ain't nobody going to put me back on the sidelines. Ain't nobody putting Becky in the corner ever again. Because as soon as Nicole Ari Parker was out and she was her right-hand man, she was her, because, she had the A&R. Now she kissing up to the new guy, Kingsley. Her and Kingsley sitting there talking to old girl, Hakeem's girlfriend, and she's, I'm really ready to get back in the studio. I know, that I was put on the shelf, but I'm just really ready for this. I'm ready for this. And Kingsley was like, "Oh, well, I'm not Barker." And Becky talking about something, "He sure isn't." Like, everything he said, Becky was like, "Yeah, girl." And he was like, "Yeah, so, Bella and Prince." She was like, "You know my kids' names?" And she was like, "Of course he does." I said, "Becky, I ain't mad at you. You better get in when you fit in, because you can't rely on nobody else to secure your bag." I ain't mad at her at all. I ain't mad at Becky. And so he puts her back in the studio. He like, we're going to get you a full-time nanny to take care of your kids. Like, don't you worry about it. We ready for you to rock and roll. In the meantime and in between time, Cookie and Lucius, they back at square one, and they like, now what the fuck we gonna do? We done lost our artists. We done spent money and resources. What we gonna do now? Like, what's the big idea now? Just at that moment, they get a phone call from Kingsley. Kingsley is like, look, can we meet? Basically, what he wants to do is put them as a figurehead over top of Empire. Basically, he said, we want to put your logo back put your face back on the logo where it belongs, and we want people, basically they want to use the name Cookie and Lucius lines because they know it pulls a lot of weight to bring new artists in, thinking that they're going to be working with Cookie and Lucius, when for real, he just want them there as figureheads. He just going to pay them money to allow them to use their name and allow them people to be like, oh yeah. It's sort of like a board of trustees or whatever. Like, you're on a board of an organization, you really don't have nothing to do with the day-to-day operation of that organization, but they're able to put your name on the letterhead and say, hey, so-and-so is on our board, so-and-so is a part of our organization. This is my mama. Hold on, I gotta pause. Hold on, y'all. Let me see what my mama. So at first, Cookie and Lucius are like, hell nah, we ain't doing that. Like, you're not going to use us. You know what I'm saying? And they roll out. They're like, fuck this. They roll out. But okay, so we'll come back to them. So Jamal and his boyfriend. Jamal lets the boyfriend know, look, I'm not, my family really needs me. After he sees the condition that Hakeem is in, he sees how angry Hakeem is, and he knows his parents are really fighting just to be able to pay their bills. He's like, look, my family really needs me. Like, we're going to go back to London, but right now, I really need to stay here and help my family out. He was like, 2 months, 3 months tops. And old boy was like, his boyfriend was like, so what I'm supposed to do in the 3 months time? He was like, well, I mean, you're a reporter. You can do your job from anywhere. Like, I would hope that you would stay here with me in New York, and when the 3 months is up, we go on back to London and we go back to our life. And he was like, are you sure? He was like, I promise. He was like, I'm going back to London. He said, but I can't leave them right now, and old boy was like, all right, that's cool. I'll roll with you. I love you. I'm gonna stay here with you. But then we see them out to dinner or out to lunch. It's like they're having brunch with friends. And it's him and Jamal. Becky's there. And then it's like another couple that's there. And the dude is being real snarky towards Jamal. Like, he making little smart ass comments and making little, acting like Jamal's like some old dumb musician and don't know shit. And Jamal picked up on it. Well, actually, everybody picked up on it to the point where his boyfriend told old boy, he was like, if you talk to my boyfriend like that again, we gonna have a problem. Like, I'm gonna need you to slow your fucking roll. And old boy was like, I'm sorry, I am being an asshole, I apologize. Then he offers him a job. He's like, look, we got this story going on down in Mogadishu about, I think it was about human trafficking. And he was like, would you like to do the job? And he was like, you saw the boyfriend's face light up like, what? Like, whoa, that's like a good assignment. And he was like, and Jamal was like, you should go. And then Jamal found out who was going to be the photographer. The photographer was going to be the asshole that was giving him a hard time. So Jamal gets jealous, and he makes a couple of little comments to old boy after they leave lunch. And old boy was like, look, let me tell you something. I know you got some baggage. I know you holding on to some shit, but I'm going to need you to trust me. And if you can't trust me, then I don't know. Then I don't know what we got, because I haven't given you any reason to think that I'm not gonna be that I'm not gonna be faithful to you, and I'm not gonna be who I say I'm gonna be. And Jamal was like, later on they make up. So then Hakeem shows up at Empire, drunk, fucked up, got a gun on his hip. They about arrest him, take him down, some more stuff. Tiana comes down there, and Tiana's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, how you gonna show up here drunk and, demanding to see your kids? I want to see my kids! Being Hakeem. And when they saw the gun, I mean, they about to kill his ass, right? But, Tiana was able to talk him, let the guards know, look, he's okay. They didn't let him in the building, but, they ain't take him to jail either. So he ends up with Lucius and Cookie, and they trying to talk to him. And they're like, what is really going on with you, Hakeem? And Lucius is like, look, I know what the problem is. You think you can't do it again. And Hakeem is like, all I know is music. Like, this is all I have is music. And he was like, look, I know what it felt like. Now, I thought he was going to talk about after the shooting, and after he, couldn't see and he had to learn how to hear through, no, what he couldn't see. What was it? Because he could see. Y'all know what I'm talking about. When he went through the shooting and shit, and he couldn't hear music anymore. He saw music through pictures. Y'all know what I'm talking about. He started talking about when he come out with an album, how hard it is for him when he come out with an album. I thought he was going to talk about. But either way, it kind of got through to Hakeem. He was like, look, son, I know what you feeling, but don't you worry about it. You're going to be there. You're going to get it again. We got your back. Get yourself together. So it kind of got through to Hakeem a little bit. We see Lucius and Cookie is saying, look, we need to go ahead and take that job because we really need this for our family. Like, we need the paycheck. We need to get ourselves stable. We need to get ourselves together. And this could really be good to try to get our family back, on the same page. Now, Hakeem and Jamal they really don't want to see them do it. They really like, fuck Empire, they really not feeling it. But they understand their reason for doing it, and they're supportive of it. So we see them so they gonna have this big party for Lucius and Cookie at Empire to announce that they're back at Empire, and they got the press there and all of that or whatever. Miss Treasure performs her little hit song that Cookie fucking produced. So my thing is, Cookie should be getting paid for that, right? I mean, even though she's not their artist anymore, they had to pay for the music, right? Don't they? Like, Cookie and Lucius, they smart enough that they got their money on the music, right? Right? Anyway. So Kingsley rolls up to Lucius at the bar, and he was like, yeah, I don't know how you did it all those years. These artists, they're just spoiled babies, and they don't they understand that all they are the bottom line, that all they are is money to us, and if they not making money for us, then they're expendable. And Lucius was like, what? Lucius said, I built this off of my love for music and my love for my artists. He was like, they're not commodities to me. He said, you know what? This probably wasn't a good idea. I'm thinking maybe this ain't gonna work. And old boy hit Lucius with the press is here. And you will go out there. And you will represent Empire. And you will do what we agreed to do. Lucius was like, oh, what? Oh, I'm going to go out there and tell everybody that the big bad lions are broke. And they are dinosaurs. See, Lucius is not the dude to threaten. That's just not who he is. He ain't never kowtowed to no damn body, and he ain't gonna start now. To his detriment sometime. But that's just not who the fuck he is. So Lucius was like, oh, alright, yeah, cool. So we see Lucius come out there. They introduce him. They give him his old mic back. Now, I don't know why Lucius didn't have his own mic. I understand they took Empire from him, but damn, he didn't get to pack a bag before he left. Like, even when you get fired from a job, they give you 15 minutes to clean off your desk, or security will pack up your desk for you and bring it to you. He didn't get to take his microphone. They had a microphone in the box for him. You know that big-ass microphone he used to always use? I don't understand why they had his microphone. They got his chair in a glass case like a fucking museum or something. Remember that big-ass high-back chair he used to have? I'm like, what the fuck? Like, to me, it was real disrespectful anyway. So Lucius come up on the stage, and Lucius talk about I want to, thank everybody for being here, and, I want to call my family up. And he was like, Cookie, he called up Cookie, he called up Hakeem, he called up Jamal. And as they're walking up there, he says to Cookie, do you trust me? Cookie was like, yeah. But you see, she looked a little confused. He was like, do you trust me? She was like, yeah, I trust you. You know that. I said, oh, shit. Lucius about to do some shit. Because he had to get permission first. He had to get permission from Cookie first. When she said she trusted him, it was like, oh, it's about to go down. So Lucius going to say, everybody take a seat. I got a story to tell y'all. Why these motherfuckers get on the floor? I said, they got on the floor. Jamal boyfriend, all of them. They just, Cookie and Jamal and Hakeem were on the stage. They sat down on the little prop on the stage. I said, for real though? Are they really sitting on the floor to listen to Lucius tell his story? So Lucius started telling his story about, the building the empire and everything. And then he exposed Kingsley. He said, yeah, he called Kingsley, he said, what did you call them? Crybabies, spoiled babies, that's what you said? He said, let me tell y'all something. He said, to me, I believe in artists. Artists always came first. They built empire. Artists are more to me and my family than just a commodity, than just the bottom line. He said, and if you believe in empire and you believe that, he said, believe in who we are, he said, I ask all of you, come with me. Let empire represent you. And I knew, let the lions represent you. And I knew artist managed and development company. So he going at it from a different angle. He's like, I'm gonna let them do the hard work of making the music, but I'm gonna make them money. I'm gonna develop the artists. I'm gonna get them ready for what's coming. I said, okay, that's a way to get in through the back door, Lucius. I'm cool with that. I'm down with you coming in through the back door. And he said, I apologize. He started off by letting them know. He said, he threatened me by telling me that he was going to tell everybody that. He said, something I want to let y'all know. Word on the street is that the Lions is a broke. He was like, we broke as a joke. He said, because we spent every penny we had trying to get Empire back. He said, that's real talk. So he took away the threat. Like, what you going? I'm telling everybody we broke. There ain't nothing else you can say. I'm letting everybody know we broke. And he told everybody, look, if anybody want to come over here to Empire, y'all come on with us. And with that, him and his family exit stage left. Kingsley talking about something. You're making a big mistake. Here go Lucius, but it feels so right. So that's where the episode ends. Then we go back to the damn funeral. And we see, y'all know who, his attorney telling him the car's waiting outside, who gonna ride with you? And he was like, I'll ride by myself. Now, I know they want us to think that it's Cookie in that casket. Cookie ain't in that fucking casket. You ain't gonna convince me of that. What? Anyway, I'm almost done. You're not gonna convince me of that. And then here come the FBI rolling in. So we'll see where that ends. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in them comments.